Hey everyone, welcome to Coffee with Joe for Thursday, February 18th, 2010. Joe, welcome back
Hello.
from your trip down to Atlanta there.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. Yeah.
I'd like to talk a little bit today about the relationship between Chartalist thinking and monetary reform as it's envisioned in the American Monetary Act. Now, you've been looking into the Chartalists particularly over the last month or so, and in fact, Eve Smith on Naked Capitalism posted an article by Randall Ray at the University of Kansas City about how household budgets are not the same as government budgets.
Right.
You've been talking about the Billy blog, Bill Mitchell down at the Center for Full Employment in Australia. And also, we're going to post a video. We'll link to this video where you're asking Warren Mosler, another Chartalist proponent, about the question of whether they advocate the issuance of government money debt-free
Right.
or advocate borrowing it from a central bank and issuing it as debt, which is something that we're trying to get clarification on. But for now, could you give us a little summary of your understanding of Chartalism and what they call modern monetary theory?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll try, Pete. Let me explain why I would even spend some time there, because there's two things about it. Number one, it's based on the concept of monetary sovereignty, Pete. Okay? It's based on the fact that the government has the issuing power of money. Their whole concept is built from that. And 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 so that's a foundation issue. It's a foundation issue for us. Our whole thing is to identify the monetary system as belonging to the people, and from there, that's how we move. Their other thing, Pete, again to their credit, is they are very much they very much identify with the public purpose. That is to say, using the monetary system to meet the public purpose. I differentiate between the private fractional reserve bankers and the banker of last resort to the kind of the Chartalists, which is the public money function, state money as they call it, and the public purpose of full employment. So that you can see how that ties in with my dad's thing about priority use of the money supply should be to keep the people, employed and and maintaining price stability. So, because we have that commonality, and that is so different from what we have now, I see the merit of where they're coming from. But having said that, it's not clear to me that they're advocating any form of debt-free money creation, and if they are, it's limited, Pete, okay? And it's limited to what? Actually, it has to be limited to whatever is in the government's budget, is whatever public purpose is identified is there, and that could possibly be met on a debt-free basis. But beyond that, they're supportive of full reserve, fractional reserve banking. Now, to me, what is fractional reserve banking? It is money creation through the issuance of debts. So you have to say to yourself, well, if you recognize monetary sovereignty and the Constitution of this country, because the Chartalists are from all the countries of different countries. In this country, the Constitution says only the Congress shall have the power to create money. And if you read this, and if you read the lasting Supreme Court decisions, it says that private money creation is illegal. So you say to yourself, why did the Chartalists back it? Okay, and we did have a discussion because Dr. Bill Mitchell, did a thing on full reserve banking, in which he explained it primarily as the function of the libertarian Austrian way of looking at money creation, Pete. Okay, which is that we need to do away with fractional reserve banking because they consider the Federal Reserve to be a government institution, and go to full reserve banking, which we support. Okay, that they say it gets lost. It's lost in the rights the limited property rights argument. So to me, I just don't understand why, if they're public purpose driven, Pete, if the Chartalists are public purpose driven, the Chartalists say the monetary system should be used for the people's good. Why do they even involve fractional reserve banking? Now, I think it's because it's the system we have, and it's the system we've had for 100 years. And they're not willing to say we need to make that break. Our objective is to get that other option out on the table. I mean, we're progressives. Our way of looking at it is it's the public's money, it's the people's money, and all of the people's money should be used for all of the people. There's no need to support the private bankers and to give them the power to create money. And that, most importantly, Pete, to create debt. To create debt when they create money. That's the part that I don't square with the Chartalists.
Warren Mosler's on record in another video that we can also link to here as advocating the creation of $1 trillion to be dispersed to the European Union countries on a per capita basis to solve the demand problems that economy is suffering from, the same thing that our economy is suffering from. And if they are not advocating full reserve banking, then that $1 trillion goes into the system. My understanding is that it serves as bank reserves and could be multiplied by the fractional reserve system 10 times, depending on what the reserve requirements are. To me, that sounds like a prescription for inflation and excess money creation.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say, inflation, excess money creation, and inflation due to more debt creation, because if that $1 trillion represents a potential over, no matter what period of time, another 5 trillion or 10 trillion of debts, it's a failure to acknowledge, I think, Pete, on the part of the Chartalists, what the nature of the problem is that we have now. They seem to act like as if it's some people made some bad decisions and we just need to undo those bad decisions. But it's not that at all. It's the freedom of private bankers and non-bankers, and by that I mean people who are just create financial instruments that are not bankers at all. Okay, and they create money and they create debts. And to me, if you don't acknowledge that, then you cannot purposefully apply this concept of monetary sovereignty towards the public's good. And the result being that we're going to have another, just another iteration, another round of creating more debts, more debt money, more interest payments due, more inflation, more potential inflation, et cetera, et cetera. So we're at this point in history, Pete, where we're not going to, get an exit strategy that's going to make any sense, and there's going to be a great workout. There's been both calls by our private bankers and by the global private bankers that we want to set up some kind of a international workout group, Pete, and then we're going to settle all these debts. Hey, let's settle all these debts by having monetary reform. That's why I look at it.
Joe, that's about out of time for today. We'll try to get some clarity on whether the Chartalists are in favor of that debt-free issuance of money or borrowing it from a central bank, which you and I both see as just kicking the can further down the road, right?
That's right, Pete.
Continued next week.
Thanks,
Joe.
Thank you.